still playing, hopefully playing better in more events, but for sure continuing with program development and making sure that there are programs for women and juniors and people that just aren't in a lot of golf conversations, and make sure that we're growing the game as much as we can.
Sure. So lastly, people responsible for getting you here. Who would you like to thank?
You know, I still go back to when I started in the golf business. I worked at the Minn Club just over the summer, and Doug Nelson was a huge influence on me. I think that my most recent job before my current, Henry Orm, was a huge influence on me, and just my family growing up in a golf community, it makes all the difference in the world, and being able to just be myself. And my brother is always a rival of mine on the golf course, and I've been lucky to surround myself with a lot of golfers and a lot of people that love the game.
Awesome. Well, Christy, congratulations on a great year. Good luck with your career.
Congratulations, Christy, well deserved. Next up are the Facility Promoter of the Year Award. The Facility Promoter of the Year is awarded to professionals for outstanding contributions to their facility, including golf programs offered, tournament operations, merchandising, promotion of the facility, and their history at the facility. This year, we honor 3 PGA members in the resort, public, and private facility category. Please welcome to the stage Mark C. Johnson of Breezy Point Resort, Tom O'Connell of the Falls Golf Club in International Falls. You're supposed to use the stairs, Mark. And lastly, Kelly Hoynes of the Minnetonka Club.
He's got a microphone. Kelly, I've got a lot of scoop on you tonight. So, for those of you that don't know, one of the things I try to do is to try to get some inside information on our award winners. And the gentleman standing next to me, I'm related to him. So I wasn't on the voting committee for the award though. So I've got a lot of scoop on Tom. So just a quick history. Long time ago, Tom's from Scottsdale, Arizona. And he always told me, he said, someday I'm going to be the golf pro. We'd be down there, we'd see the coldest spot in the country. And it was always International Falls. And he just kept saying, someday I'm going to be the golf pro at International Falls. Now, he's at a course that's doing 64,000 rounds. He's rolling in the money, and all pros. And across, back then it was fax machines. Across comes a fax that the golf job's open. Said, Tom, go to your fax machine. I'm going to fax you this. So I faxed him the job. Within 2 days, they fly him up. 3 days later, he's a golf pro in International Falls. How does that happen?
Well, it's even a little bit more than that, because I went up there, got the job, but the job was for a year from then. So I went back to Scottsdale, told my owners, they didn't believe it. They had let the management company go, and I was the management company of the golf course, and I was also coaching a Division I junior college team that was ranked in the top 10 of the country. So I went ahead and worked through that summer, and through that fall, and into that spring, and everybody thought it was just going to be the same, and I still left. So it was interesting going up to International Falls, a lot different than Scottsdale, but we've developed a nice life up there and enjoyed it.
And he's retiring this year, so obviously at a young age he did very well in International Falls. So Kelly, you've got 2 beautiful girls, Kennedy and Chloe. I have heard them a couple times over there tonight. Beautiful. You have a connection with Children's Hospital, which is a magic connection even for our section, for everything that you've been through. Tell us a little bit about how you got where you are.
Well, I've been very fortunate at the facilities I've worked at, starting with Rob Harry at Minnesota Valley, and then continuing on to Stone Ridge with Keith Callamy, and then my mentor, Doug Nelson. I've been at Minnesota for the last 14 years, 3 years as the head pro. And as most of you know, I had a life-changing experience with my girls, being born 15 weeks early and living out of a hospital for 4 and 4.5 months just changed my outlook on life. And I've just really dedicated a lot of my time outside of the club to things that I can do for Children's Hospital and the Ronald McDonald House, where we spent a few of our days.
You've been very active there, and I know your efforts are appreciated. Congratulations on 2 beautiful girls.
Thank you.
Mark, 18 years, is that right?
Coming up on 19.
Coming up on 19, you're a second generation PGA professional?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, oh, I think I've got
You're
the wrong.
thinking the wrong
Yep,
Mark
all right,
Johnson.
so, we'll go,
You keep mixing up
that's
the W
Dean,
and the
sorry,
C.
I got it. Your program, Pay It Forward, heard a bunch about it.
A few years ago, one of my staff members was diagnosed with melanoma cancer, and we kind of created an event. We called it the Swanson Open. It's been 10 years in the running now, but we started a scramble, and we wanted something affordable for people to play. And so we did it on the old resort course, the traditional course, which most of our events are going to be played on White Birch or Deacons. But we decided to keep the cost down, and over the years now we've raised, they've raised over $250,000, and over the last few years, most of that money stays local. So it's been a great program. Almost everybody is touched by cancer at some point in time, so somebody is going to have it, and it's been really kind of fun to be very active in it, and we're just going to keep going with it.
What do you think the keys to the promotion at a resort facility versus some of the other courses?
Heads and beds. It really is a little bit different, because I came from basically the private or semi-private sector prior, where it was all based on rounds, and some of our best days are hard for people to understand, but sometimes the golf course can be sitting there empty. But if I've got the right corporate group in, we're taking in a lot of money, because it's based on so many dollars per head of everybody in the group. So if you've got a group of 900 people in, you're doing pretty good on the golf course, and it can be empty. So it really is understanding the concept that, if your resort is full, the golf course is going to be full. The golf course is an amenity to the resort, and we're selling a lot more than just golf.
Good. So Kelly, promotion at a private facility is obviously different than anything else. Some of us at the public facilities. What are some of your biggest challenges, and give us an example of your best success story?
I think it's just important to, your membership is continuing to evolve, in that, the average age, continues to change. And for me, it's just being aware of what programs people are looking for. For example, the second year as being the head pro, we had never had an organized men's league. And last season, we implemented an organized men's league, and our goal was 36 participants, and we ended up with 104. And this season, our goal was to continue to grow it, and we ended up with 203. So it's identifying the programs that are needed among the membership that you have. Another area that we thrived in this year was couples events. We never really have anything organized for couples events, and so we started two different events, a social event that is couples, you know, we call it 9 and Wine, where the pros are out there doing a wine tasting on the tee box, and it's been a big hit. And then we also added a couples guest day, which we haven't had, you know, in years, and I've been there 14 years, and we ended up with 72 participants. So it's just continuing to identify the needs of the membership.
Those are perfect best practices you should submit to the PGA magazine. So Tommy, your town's 6,000 and dropping. You have a junior program over 150. You had 145 ladies attend an event. You're retiring. His golf club put an ad in the paper thanking him before he retired. We talked a little bit about last night about you winning the award, what you were thinking about it years ago. We talked about it this afternoon. Can you go over that again?
Well, I just never thought going up to International Falls that anything like this would happen. And I've always believed and learned from the people that I grew up under to put the facility first. So I've just continued to do that, surround myself with good people, always talk to people within the industry, get new ideas like I'm hearing here tonight, and then challenge myself to put them into play when nobody is really noticing. I know the effect that it's having on our golf course financially, and then I hear it from the people in the town what a difference it's making in their lives. So I've just always believed in creating that welcoming atmosphere and having a highly trained staff that does the same. And this is just kind of the culmination of everything. But my retirement, I'm thinking, is slightly premature because of what's happening. You know, we may have a new owner. If we have a new owner, I'm committed to helping him get started correctly for a year. And I've also told our board that, hey, if something falls through, I'm not going to abandon the ship, and we'll run it next year just like we have in the past. So I was telling John Tillett that my fall has been busier than it's ever been. So it doesn't seem like retirement, and someday I hope I know what that feels like.
Good. So to wrap it up, we'll go with the same question for each of you. If you had to thank somebody or people responsible for your career and where you are now, Mark?
Well, that's kind of a hard one. Well, I'd start with my parents for getting me involved with golf when I was 8 years old. And I grew up in Moose Lake, as some of you know, and there were some old timers there that kind of got me going. And then I have to thank Jim Terry, who brought me back from California and got me into the Brainerd Lakes area, and I've been there 30 some years since. And then I have to thank my present employers for creating the opportunities they have for me.
Perfect. Kelly, before you answer, so Kelly and Marshall are married. How did you keep that from the membership? Inside information says for a couple of years.
You know, even after we were married, we dated 6 years before we got married, and members still did not know that we were together.
So who do you have to thank for your career and where you're at?
Well, I have to thank a few people. First, you know, I've been fortunate for the 3 head professionals that I worked for before getting my dream job. But my GM, who's given me great opportunity and all the support, and the membership at Minnetonka is just incredible. They're so supportive, but it's my family. If I could not do this without my mom and dad, who watched the girls for us 6-7 days a week during the season, and we could not do this without them. So I also like to thank my team again. I thanked you earlier, but again, this is a team effort, so I couldn't do it without any of you.
Tom?
Well, my parents have always been very supportive of my golf, and I would have to go to your dad, my Uncle Bill, who was so instrumental in getting me started when I was 7 or 8 years old. And then I grew up at a private club in Montana, Meadowlark Country Club, and there was an old pro named Frank Hogan. And Frankie was an amazing guy, and he took me under his wing when I was about 12 years old. Gave me my first job for $1 an hour cleaning clubs. And I used to practice all day, and then I would go up to the pro shop, and there would probably be 100 to 150 sets of clubs that needed to be cleaned. And I'd clean them all, and I'd put them up inside if they were from a cart, or take the old, pull carts downstairs, and I'd go up every day, and Frankie would be there and say, "How many hours today, Tommy?" And I'd say, "8, Mr. Kogan." And he'd peel off 8 $1 bills out of his pocket, and always gave me a lot of advice, spent a lot of time with me. And I knew way back then that I was either going to be a playing pro or a club pro. That's all I ever wanted to do in my life. I went to college. I have a 4-year degree. I never thought about doing anything but being in the golf business. When I see these kids out here, I just think of what awaits them with their golf. My cousin Steve was a little bit smaller than that when we first started going to the golf course together. So this has been over 50 years for us, and now his son Trey is quite a player. So there's a whole nother generation of time that we'll be able to spend together. So my dad's 87 years old, still plays a lot, came up for the Ryder Cup from Arizona. So mostly family. My wife, of course, has to put up with a heck of a lot for someone who's been committed to a head pro job for a long, long time. And it's just all come together. And I want to tell these kids out here, golf is the greatest game that there is. They'll never run across anything better than golf. And when you get to Augusta, young lady, you're not going to believe what it looks like.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
I made a fatal mistake. I didn't know there was dessert, so we started the awards a little too early, and I haven't had a bite. How is it? Good? At this time, we're going to have all the juniors gather in the back corner for pictures. There's a couple of individuals that might use bad language, so if you need to leave, we'll certainly understand. Next up is the Horton Smith Trophy. It's awarded to the professional who has provided outstanding contributions to the section and PGA of America, including developing and improving educational opportunities in the Minnesota section. The Bill Strasbaugh Award is designed to recognize PGA professionals who, by their day-to-day efforts, have distinguished themselves by mentoring their fellow PGA professionals and improving their employment situations and through service to the community. Please welcome to the stage Horton Smith winner for 2016, Jay Meyerhoff of Rush Creek Golf Club. And also the Bill Strasbaugh Award winner, Nathan Olaf of Interlochen Country Club.
Welcome, gentlemen. Well, I have a little scoop on both of these guys. We'll start with Jay. Jay, big Iowa fan. We appreciate you coming in. You can head back now.
Thanks.
Jay, from day one since I've known you, you've been all over education. It's been a priority in every aspect. Have you been with the committees? When you've been on the board, what gets you engrossed in that?
I've been, actually my mom and dad are both educators. So my dad was a superintendent, curriculum director, and my mom was special ed. So it's always, I grew up with it and always just trying to improve you. I've been, just improve everybody. Just try to give everybody the opportunity to learn as much as possible.
What's the most important part of leading young professionals with education as they come up?
Making sure they're informed, and I guess probably letting them realize what it becomes to be a PGA professional. We're not golfers, or we do play golf, but there's so much more to our business and so many things that I don't think they all completely understand. So, educating them on what we do behind the scenes.
All right, we're going to move over to Nathan. Nathan, we had the labor wage and hour lady in this morning, and she used to work with the child's labor, and it's come to my knowledge you started in the golf business at age 11 or 12.
Yeah, I don't know that I missed this morning, and my sincere apologies for that.
She wants to talk to you, so she was looking for
it was
that.
terrific. I had some great note takers there, so thank you, team, for taking part in my absence. Yes, started sort of similar to the story that we just heard. Earned cash from the golf professional at a young age. Like probably many of us in this room, started off picking the range, and just kept. I was going to be at the club from sunup to sundown anyway, so. And hitting the majority of the golf balls, might as well ask me to pick them as well. So I started doing that, started parking carts at a young age, and just grew up right alongside the golf professional, and that's really kind of how I got into it. Steve, is really just being around the game, was so inspired by my home pro growing up, and just revered everything about it. Sort of the classic golf professional qualities, the mannerisms that he had, the gentlemanly qualities, the way he dressed, just the way he handled people. It was very inspirational, and very, that very much led me down the road of kind of putting me into this chair here today.
So early on, you knew right away you wanted to be in the profession.
Yeah. It's kind of odd. As I reflect now, as part of my role, I'm really fortunate in that I get to talk to a lot of young folks, and one of the common questions, what are your goals? What are your aspirations? Where do you see yourself? And you hear a lot of I don't knows. And as I reflect back, certainly I didn't know any different. When I was a young person, I just, I loved looking up to my golf pro, and I loved the way he treated me and treated others. And 16, 17 years old, it just kind of hit me that I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be able to reciprocate that, to be able to influence others in the way that he influenced me, and so that really led me down to the golf management route down in Methodist University down in North Carolina, and so went down there for golf management and just kind of worked through the natural progression. But yeah, from a young age, knew exactly what I wanted to do. Not really sure why it hit me like it did.
That's great. So obviously that's a form of mentoring. That's the award you won. You're well known throughout our section, if you don't know, for how organized you are. You are beyond organized. Your level of excellence exceeds, it's what we all hope to achieve. How do you pass that on to the young professionals coming into the business?
Well, that's quite a compliment, and my wife, who is here tonight, might disagree with that. If you looked at my sock drawer, it's not as organized as I'd like it to be. But as far as how do I coach my staff? It really it's very process driven, and it starts from how we hire. It's a very methodical approach in terms of who we even bring to the dance, so to speak, in terms of who's going to apply and who we're going to interview. Then once we make those selections, once we make those determinations, it's a very defined process. There's an onboarding process, so to speak, and it's just we try to set expectations very clearly so that there's zero ambiguity. I think it's very, very important. It just affords me long-term a lot greater flexibility. To just have the trust and the confidence that when I'm not there, I know how they are handling themselves. But more importantly than that, it sort of sets the tone for our working relationship, and then just grows and develops from there. But it's very process driven, I would say, in everything we do. It's very methodical for sure.
I've heard that, but obviously success and success, because your reputation is fantastic. So Jay, back to education. The hottest topics outside of wage and hour right now that you're dealing with or that the business is dealing with?
I think it's for our young professionals not completely understanding the levels that we have to go through and everything that we learn beyond that. You know, like Nathan was just saying, the process and everything. I think so many of our young people think, I want to be a golf pro, I'm going to play golf all day. Well, we don't have that opportunity to play as much as we think we are. I think it's more the budgets, it's the hiring process, it's the wage and labor that we're talking about earlier this morning. You know, CJ Meyer and myself on the education share, we're always listening to new hot topics and everything. Everything's always changing, and we're learning so much more. Like Tom Apps with marketing, and there's so many other things that we have to do besides play golf. And I think so many of our young professionals don't have a grasp of that.
Correct. So as we wrap it up, here's your chance to thank the people who've been responsible for getting you here and kind of created the path you're on now.
For myself, obviously my mom and dad, my fiance Renee, kind of put everything in perspective for me. We're golf pros, I'm not saving lives. So she kind of made me calm down a little bit and not be so stressed with that. Obviously, my entire staff at Rush Creek, I'm so fortunate with Aaron Jacobson, Derek Stendal, Jenny Stendal. I work with wonderful people. Jeff Drimmel, that kind of got me involved with everything. Kind of a huge mentor, Craig Warren, yourself. You know, I've been very blessed. We've been surrounded by wonderful, wonderful people.
Nathan?
Well, gosh, there's a lot of folks that I am forever indebted to. Been very, very blessed to work for a lot of great people. Currently, I'm working at Interlochen Country Club, and I feel just fortunate every single day to go into work to such a great place, a place that really affords me the opportunity to really create the culture and the environment, really a learning culture, I would say, and the club is very supportive of that. Forever grateful for that. My general manager made an effort to be with us here tonight, Eric Dietz. He's very, very supportive of what we're trying to build and create, and very grateful for that. Our team, who's also here with us here tonight, I feel just privileged to be a part of such a great group, so thank you all very much. And most importantly, my wife and daughter are here tonight. They provide me the support day in and day out to pursue my passion, which is to be the best golf professional that I can be. So can't ask for much more than that. Smiles when I get home, so it's I feel very, very fortunate for that. So just grateful for so many folks. It's definitely a team effort for all of us as award winners for sure.
Well, on behalf of the Minnesota section, I want to say thank you to both of you for your mentoring, for your educating, for making us look better. So thank you very much.
Congratulations to both Jay and Nathan. Next up is the PGA Youth Development Award, which is given to the golf professional who has been a leader in junior golf programming and continues to provide opportunities for juniors to learn and play the game of golf. The PGA Player Development Award recognizes individual PGA professionals for their extraordinary and exemplary contributions and achievements in the area of player development. Tonight we honor PGA members Dean Zahn and Brad Pluth on winning their respective awards.
All right, so you two have won awards that we talk about at every national meeting, every section meeting, any meeting we're at, player development, growing the game. That's the entire longevity of what we all do as a business. That's so vital. Dean, you were tough to get a lot of personal scoop on out there in Dakota, so we didn't get a whole bunch. Or the ones I had, I couldn't share.
That's good.
Give us your best youth story, success story.
Well, you know, I'm in Aberdeen, South Dakota. It's a town of 27,000 people. We run a first tee program there, and we've been doing it for the last 7-8 years. And the thing about the first tee is, and what I've come to learn, because it was a little tough to transition from what you learn as a PGA golf professional, how you teach your juniors, to transitioning into what the first tee believes in. And it's just one of many of the programs that we run. But in the first tee, it's really life skill development. And you know, they have their 9 core values, and we're teaching kids honesty, integrity, sportsmanship, courage, courtesy, those kind of things. We all know that as a PGA professional. We grew up in the programs. We get that. That's one of the reasons why we became golf professionals, because of that. But it's a whole nother thing when you're purposely trying to teach this to the kids. And you know, you get a kid or two, and we've all had this, a kid that's maybe going down the wrong road in life. As parents say, oh, you know, you're going to go do junior golf. You stick them in our program. Maybe the parent's thinking this is going to be a glorified babysitting service for them. But all of a sudden it clicks for that kid. He starts to get it. He's the one that starts teaching the other kids how to fix ball marks or repair divots. He's the one that takes his hat off and shakes the hands of the other players. And that's when you know that you're doing the right thing. When you catch a kid like that, and all it takes is one.
You're right, and then it's pay it forward. That's right. So Brad, how do you reach people who've never played? You are so instrumental in all the stuff you have going on.
I love to play, so I try to share my passion and get him out on the course.
And he's a good player, very good player.
I try. I make a lot of donations as well. But I love doing playing lessons and getting them exposed, whether it's 2 holes, 3 holes, and then starting them out at the right distances. You know, if they can make a 4 from 100 yards, then we progress them back to 150, and then 150 to 200, and then the front tees and the middle tees, and graduate them back. So
Sure.
That's been the best.
Sure. How do you feel like you get the beginner's hook to keep playing in the game?
You know, it all comes down to ball striking. As soon as they hit that first solid strike and they see the ball fly, they're hooked. You know, so that's probably my favorite part about the sport. I mean, I love hitting good shots, but it's even more rewarding for me to see somebody have that first experience of watching that ball sail and going, I did that.
Right.
You know,
So I'm going to ask you both kind of the same question. We'll start with you, Dean. If you had a magic wand for youth golf, we needed it to explode. Yep.
Well, you know, first off, I want to say that I think youth golf is exploding. I mean, I came up in a junior golf program. I'm sure a lot of us did. And you know, we always hear about the negative stories, especially in the mainstream press, about the death of golf or the imminent death of golf. I don't see that. Sure, we've gone through some hard times, but junior golf is really taken off. We've done a lot of right things. A lot of golf professionals have gotten serious about it and really have taken their programs to the next level. And that bodes well for the future of the game. I mean, these kids are going to be playing the golf down the road when a lot of us are retired, and they're going to be teaching their kids. I think it's looking really good. I think the PGA Junior League has been one of the best youth programs that the PGA has ever come out with. It's really, you know, we've tried a lot of things over the years, and that one really, really has worked. But you know, the magic wand in golf, I don't know if there is one. I think we keep going down the road we're doing, because I think we, as an organization, have been very successful what we're doing with junior golf, and I think we just keep going down that road and really pushing it, because I think we're doing good. I think the game's in good hands.
So we've got some young champions here. What advice do you give to the really good young players? You, Dean.
First of all, that's really cool. It's really cool that you bring them up here. I think that's awesome. Youth golf that's a neat experience for them. The advice I give you is to keep playing the game, to pass down the traditions that you're learning. You might not even realize the life skills that you're learning, but to pass them on to your friends, invite them out to play, and keep playing the game. Because someday you're going to pass this game down to maybe your children, your grandchildren, whomever it might be, or your friend down the street, and that is huge. To win at golf, be good at golf is great, but golf gives you back way more than just playing good golf. It gives you back a game of a lifetime. It gives you back life experiences. You become friends with people you would never become friends with otherwise. And a lot of the great people I've met in my life have been through golf, and I don't know what I've done without it. So I hope that you guys get to experience the same thing that we have.
I know Ava and Matt are still here. I will tell you that you guys hit the ball so well that you will have the opportunity to influence a lot of young players and probably older players because of how well you hit it.
I got one other piece that my son and I were playing with this gentleman who was, I think, 92, and he said, "Do you know how you're?" Or he asked my son, "Do you know how you're a good golfer?" And he said, "If you get invited back." And that, I thought that was great.
Absolutely. So, Brad, your magic wand. How do we get more people involved in the game and stay in the game?
I've developed, after teaching for almost 20 years now, basically 4 steps of train to learn, which is the foundations of the golf swing and rules and etiquette, some on-course strategy, and then a train to play, getting them out on the golf course for the first time, and the skills necessary to not only swing, but to play, and all that goes into that. And then a train to compete, getting them ready for their first tournament, or if they're competitive golfers, and then a train to win or excel, which is kind of for the college level path, or mini tour guys that really want to take it serious. So those are the 4 stages. So I think if we create a clear path, I think it makes it easier for our customers to know where to jump in and how to progress.
And get comfortable early. I like that. That's very good. So to wrap it up, gentlemen, your chance to thank who's been responsible for getting you here and the career path you're on. Brad?
Well, my parents are here tonight. I'm blessed to have them. I've got my wife, for sure. She's with my 4 little motivations. So I've got 4 kids at home. It's so good to see Dick Tillett over here. I grew up here at Bunker Hills, so this has always been a special place to me. This is what I consider home. Mike Kors and Harry Hurley at Bluff Creek give me the opportunity to teach. All the kids that inspire me to keep going with the U.S. Kids Local Tour and providing opportunities for our next generation is definitely a thrill for me. So it's more of a thank you. There's so many people. Craig Warren has been a very influential member. Steve, actually, I took lessons from Steve when I was back in high school. 2 sets of clubs in about 2 weeks. And, yeah.
Basketball too.
Yeah.
And Dean?
Well, I've been very lucky in my life. My father's a PGA golf professional. He was influenced by Dean Shortridge, who some of you may know, some of the older members here, or PGA members here. Dean Shortridge, originally from St. Paul, was assistant pro at Rochester Country Club, and he got the head pro job in 1949 at the Aberdeen Country Club in South Dakota, and came over, and my father, at 8 years old, became a caddy for him. Talk about wage and hour and child labor law problems. But that was only, the country club was the only place that would hire a 8-year-old kid, and he needed a job. Apparently, that's what my grandmother told me. I'm named after Dean, actually, and so he influenced my father. My father later on became a high school teacher, a golf coach, and then later on the director of education for the National Golf Foundation, which in those days their job was to grow the game of golf, and he was in charge of that. So I've grown up with that. And so obviously my father was a huge influence. And tonight I have my son here who's also a third generation PGA golf professional, which is, I tried to talk him out of it, but he's got a passion for the game and it runs in their blood. So, you know, it's a family affair in our household, and I have a very supportive family because working at a small club in a small city, you work a lot of hours, as we all do, and they're very supportive of me, and I'm very appreciative of that. But I'm also appreciative of the Dean Shortridges of the world. I came from the Northern California section originally, and there was a gentleman there by the name of Larry O'Leary who's still teaching today, and he was my mentor, so to speak, in my early career. Really took me under his wing, and I appreciate that. So I've been very lucky in my career, and it's a great honor to be sitting up here today.
Gentlemen, thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Steve, how are you holding up?
All's good. I got my water.
One of our senior members doing the awards with me tonight.
Polish.
Always a pleasure. The next award is the Patriot Award. It's a new award for 2016. It bestows special recognition on a PGA golf professional who personifies patriotism through the game of golf and demonstrates unwavering commitment and dedication to the men and women who have valiantly served to protect the United States of America. Tonight we honor Dale Jones of Mendakota Country Club on winning the section's Patriot Award. Unfortunately, Dale was unable to attend tonight due to a scheduled conflict at his club. He's hosting an event, but he wanted to pass along a short note. And mind you, Dale's a much better public speaker and better looking than I am, so just picture him while I deliver this. Thank you to the committee for the Patriot Award. I am truly honored and don't feel that I deserve this award. Not true. The men and women who serve our country every day to protect our freedom are the ones who should be honored. I need to thank JB Ball from Tee It Up for the Troops for his wonderful idea to host a major fundraising event at our club, which has made huge headway in supporting our military personnel. I think it's great that golf can help these men and women heal after all they've been through. Thank you again for this great honor. Next up is the Assistant Professional of the Year, who was awarded to an assistant golf professional for their leadership promotion of the game of golf, responsibilities at their facility, and image as an assistant golf professional. Please welcome to the stage the 2016 Section Assistant Professional of the Year, Patrick Carnes from Somerset Country Club.
All right, so Patrick is from one of the most private clubs in the cities. So, I mean, I called David the other day and tried to get some inside scoop. I called over to your club to try to get some inside scoop. You guys are really private. I have nothing. So now you have to give us some inside scoop. Tell us something about yourself we don't know.
Good question.
I don't have a lot. David just didn't call me back.
Well, I took a unique route to become a PGA professional, I guess. When I was 17, I enlisted in the United States Army. I'd just been done with 12 years of school. I did not want to go to school more. most of my friends were trying to figure out how they're going to fund their college education. And the GI Bill at the time was a wonderful opportunity. Turned out to be even better than I expected. Paid for four years of school at Mankato State, rent, and a car. So certainly one of the better decisions I made. It got me to Mankato where, again, I was not real sure what I wanted to do. I was an electrical engineering student for 2 years. But let me back up just a little bit. The year I got out of the Army, I did not go to school for an entire calendar year. And it was one of those years, 89, 90, where you could play about 10 months of the year. And bumped into Paul Baldus at Interlake in the golf club in Fairmont, Minnesota. My first interaction with a really rock solid PGA professional. Started to open my eyes a little bit thinking, you know, this is kind of cool. PGA pros could be kind of cool. So went to school, switched majors to business administration after a couple years. Played a couple seasons for Jerry Carpenter at Mankato State. He introduced me to Kevin Ross, who was currently working at Mankato Golf Club. And so after 4 years of school, Kevin suggested I interview for the open second assistant's job, and that's where it all began. So I don't have any real good scoop on myself, but that's just kind of a timeline of how I jumped into this.
So being at a private facility, what are some of the challenges at a private facility, especially one that is that few of rounds?
Maintaining consistency, and especially at a place like Somerset, not unlike other places, but you're surrounded by very successful people. But being an understated club, you've got to be careful how you satisfy them. They want high-end service. They expect things to be done correct, but it's not a lot of pomp and circumstance. I mean, you make them happy, you make them have a wonderful experience, which includes their guests, and to Dave Duchesne's credit, he's wonderful at this. You want them happy, but they're not real sure how you just made them happy. So that's a wonderful trait to figure out.
He's about as good as there is at it.
I would agree.
So tell us a little bit about who's responsible for getting you here, or some people you have to thank.
Certainly have to thank my mother and father. Grew up in a golfing family. Didn't play a lot early. Didn't think it was the coolest sport ever because my sister could beat me. So I didn't play a whole lot of golf as a young teen, but again, played a whole bunch with my dad after the Army. And again, Paul Baldus, Interlake Golf Club, really made me think that this could be an opportunity. Kevin Ross suggested I go work with the Zinnies. Super impactful. If you want to figure out how to be a PGA professional, Mike Zinni, pretty nice standard. Want to figure out how to run a golf shop, Katie Zinni, good person to learn from. And then certainly Dave Duchesne. I've been with him for several years at Somerset, and you couldn't ask for a better mentor. Pretty special when your mentor and your boss is a friend. Wonderful working relationship there. And of course my wife Sarah, she's in the golf business, so she pretty much understands that we work some weird hours, weird things happen, so she's very understanding and patient, so she doesn't yell at me too much.
That's a good thing. So your goals moving forward, what are some of your goals as you continue in the business?
Nothing real specific. I'd like to continue on in the business and hopefully, just be successful. I'd love a head pro job someday, and just continue on and try to be one of the best professionals that I can be.
All right, well, you already are successful. You won the award. So congratulations. Thank you.
The PGA Teacher of the Year is awarded to the professional for their excellence in golf instruction, including promotion of the game, education of self and student, history, and image. Tonight we honor Chris Croach, teaching professional at Fargo Country Club, as the 2016 Section Teacher of the Year.
Congrats. So just to fill everybody in, these last two awards are probably as coveted as any awards we have in our section and in our industry, really. I think Joel will attest, as he headed the awards committee this year, that the amount of applicants or nominations we get for Teacher of the Year and Professional of the Year. I mean, Teacher of the Year, we go through no less than maybe 500 pages, maybe more. It's endless. So this is definitely one of the most coveted awards we have. I can go on and on about Chris, the amount of letters we got of recommendation for the stuff he does. Chris also qualified for next year's CPC, which is our Club Pro Championship. So obviously he is a very, very good player. The other day he was working in the morning early with the North Dakota State women's golf team. Like I said, the accolades are endless for yourself. How'd you get in the business and the path of teaching?
Yeah, so, my background, I, after high school, went to UND and I got a degree in education. Thought I was going to be a teacher and work at a golf course in the summers. So my wife and I moved to Fargo in the summer of '01. Right after we got married, she got a job right away out of college. And as I moved to Fargo, I made a few rounds of phone calls, calling all the local golf professionals in town, and Larry Murphy had a spot for me. So I started working, was actively looking for a teaching position, not in the golf business, and worked there that summer and got to be very good friends with Scott Dahl. Scott was Larry's assistant at the time. And it just so happened that Scott was getting out of the business that year, and I talked to Larry and said, what would be the, do you have anyone in mind to fill Scott's spot? I was wondering if you'd be interested in me joining your position, or joining you at the Admore Country Club, and I just happened to be at the right place at the right time.
So of all your accomplishments teaching, and they are endless, I mean, the list is, Larry sent me multiple pages, as did a number of them up there. What are you most proud of?
I get to go to work every day doing what I love. I guess I just don't really look at my accomplishments very much. I kind of just go to work every day, and I go to work, and you know what? I get to teach people to love the game. I get to share my love for golf with people every day. And there's nothing better than that.
So how has the game evolved over the years, especially from the teaching aspect?
It's a good question. I think there's a lot of great instructors and great information out there today. And it's constantly evolving with, I think when I first got into the business, you didn't see, a lot of technology getting used like it gets used today. TrackMan, FlightScope, K-Vest, the Swing Cat, there's all kinds of technology that's out there and available today, but and that really wasn't there when I first got into it. And I think that there's a lot of great knowledge that is out there. You just have to go look for it and get it. I think there's kind of a notion of kind of old school instruction, new school instruction. Young people like myself, I make use of all the technology that I can, And I don't necessarily use it in every lesson that I give, but more importantly than the technology is the knowledge and the education that you go through and you get when using devices like we just talked about. And it provides us as instructors provides us with great feedback, not necessarily that we share that with the student that we teach, but that we can use to guide us in a path to possibly help that person enjoy the game more.
Right. So, professionally speaking, your goals for the next 10 years?
Yeah, I want to continue growing what I do. I want to continue teaching. That's a great question. I want to continue educating myself. I think that part of the reason why I'm sitting here right now is because of the associations that I've went out and sought out people around the country, people that are, I view better instructors than me, and I want to try and learn from them. So what I would like to do, and one of my goals going forward, is I want to still continue learning from these people and trying to become a more effective instructor, a better instructor, all those traits.
Sure. And who do you have to thank for where you're at?
Well, obviously Larry Murphy. He gave me my first opportunity in the golf business, and I can't say thank you enough to him. Mark Johnson. I'm teaching today solely because of him. He gave me my opportunity. I created the opportunity there, but then as we moved along, the opportunity was there, and Mark's like, this would be a great opportunity for you. Obviously, my parents for taking me to all the golf tournaments that I went to when I was a kid. I mean, that's ultimately the reason why I got into the golf business, is because of my love of playing. But especially my wife and my son. Roars, paying attention, bud? They know what it's like. My wife knows what it's like for us in the golf business. She gets a lot of phone calls saying, hey, I had something come up after work. I got one more lesson I got to do. Can you get the kids tonight? And she's been unbelievably supportive. A lot of this award goes to her. So,
awesome. Well, on behalf of all of us, you grow the game, you mentor others, you educate us, and your player development is taking everything to another level for all of us. So thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Chris. Last award of the evening is the Section PGA Golf Professional of the Year, which is one of the highest honors the association can bestow on a working golf professional whose total contributions to the game best exemplify the complete PGA professional. Tonight, we honor a deserving PGA member for this award, Steve Willock, PGA member at Oak Marsh Golf Club. Welcome to the stage.
Steve, congrats. Steve? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to read a few things off from kind of your bio. You love teaching. You won the 2003 Teacher of the Year. They're regularly recognized in Golf Digest as one of the top teachers in our state. Excellent player. You just won our senior match play. Am I right? You beat Don Barry and Dale Jones?
I can't even believe it myself.
Neither can I. Dale beat me by 5 holes, 5 and 4. But long time involvement with Midwest Course Owners Association, past section board member and tournament chair. You can go on and on. Nobody does more promotion of their facility than you do, nor gets more out of the PR aspect. Opening in February, which I love because you're open, I'm not. I was going to go with you're the king of social media, but I think I have to give that to Samantha. Am I right?
You do, yes. That's my 24-year-old daughter. She's the one that taught me everything I know, and according to her, I still don't know very much.
And we saw that on social media.
Yeah.
But, you know, as much as anything, you're one of the true professionals in our business. You make all of us look better. You always have. Mr. Pittenger flew in from Florida.
He's here tonight?
Yes, just for tonight, which says a lot. Start with the first question. A dentist? You thought you were going to be a dentist?
I did until I hit organic chemistry at Winona State.
Easier to fix a slice?
Yeah, the department chair said I should pick another career choice.
I don't see you as a dentist. I just have to be honest.
I thought it was the way to go. I had an uncle who was a dentist, and he worked 3 days a week and hunted and fished the other 4.
You still got time.
Yeah, I do.
So, what's an award like this mean to you?
Well, it means a lot, other than, you know, being recognized by the board and the membership, but it also humbles me a lot because I know a lot of the people that I know, you know, in this room and in the room earlier today, many of those people deserve the same kind of accolades, do a great job, and many of them don't get recognized like they should. Hopefully at their own home clubs they do.
Would you ever advise your daughter Samantha to get in the business?
She's already going to be way more successful than I've ever been just by watching the way she's starting out. She's doing awesome already.
What do you see some of the biggest challenges in our business? Your promotion is beyond. I mean, you are as good as there is.
Well, I think the most important thing is to look at your calendars, and when there's not something on your calendar, make something up. People we were in that mode when the business was good, we just, you know, people were banging down the doors to get in. Then we hit a downturn, and a lot of people at that time didn't know what to do. From tips from Wendell over the years, you have to create something, and today those things that we did are paying off a great deal. I think you really have to, you know, something isn't filling up your calendar, you have to create an event.
What's one of the best promotions you've ever come up with?
Well, playing golf in January is good.
You don't lose golf balls on the ice.
No, and you can actually walk out and hit it off the ice. Yeah.
Correct. One of the things you pride yourself on is your humility and not to take yourself too serious. With that said, what's your most embarrassing moment in golf? And you can't say, I don't know.
Other than the tee shot I hit in college that hit a bench and went backwards up in Duluth
Other than
years
that
ago?
one.
Oh, okay. Probably many of the videos I've done promoting our couples events. If any of you have seen it on Oak Marsh, on YouTube, Oak Marsh Golf, you can just find it on YouTube.
Okay. There's a lot on YouTube with Samantha running it.
Yeah, there is.
Go ahead and thank, you know, who's responsible for getting you here and just kind of your career path.
Yeah, first of all, I have to thank my parents who are here from Trempealeau, Wisconsin. Population, I think it might be 1,000 now down there on the river. Norm and Helen Willock, they're here tonight. Made the trip. And kind of a strange way to get started in golf. He had clubs. I didn't remember him playing a lot. One time he decided to go play and said, hey, why don't you come along? And he allowed me to pull the pull cart around the golf course that they played. He probably doesn't remember this. And then that was that. I wasn't really fired up about it because I wanted to play and I was just pulling the cart around. A friend of mine and I got a hold of his clubs one day and started whacking around the yard, and I don't know if we broke anybody's windows or not, but we did tear up a lot of the yard, and that's where I got started, grabbing his old clubs. He didn't play that much, and now he plays a ton. He plays way more than I do. Some of you in the room remember him caddying. Norm caddied for me in many PGA section events. I remember we had a event here at Bunker Hills. We were paired with Tom Lehman. You remember that, right? Second round, coming up 18. Norm says, Steve, if he makes a 3 on this hole, he's going to have 10 threes on his scorecard. And I looked at him and said, how are we doing? You know, I'm your guy, you know? Tom did birdie the 18th hole, shot 64, won the tournament. It was kind of exciting, you know, I gotta say. It was kind of cool. And then, what was it, in 1980, I think I showed up at Willow Creek. Actually, I showed up there in 78, but in 1980, I started working for Wendell Pittenger, and he taught me a tireless work ethic. Many of the guys in the room earlier today have worked for him. He made you work. You knew what a day was like when you worked. And another thing he had was a passion to succeed, whether it was in the businesses that he operated. I had some experience in private clubs and public golf courses, and I kind of like where we're at, where you know, we kind of you know, how we do as a business and how our revenue stream comes in. That's how we do. We're not working necessarily for a board, except for the board. And the other influences I've had here through the Golf Course Owners Group, I said earlier today, I know there's a couple guys in the audience here, Greg Stang and Mike Malone, were very influential. I know Mike's friend of Wendell's, and I got to sit in, hopefully not say too much, and just listen in on some of those conversations, and still learning today on how to do things. But very fortunate to work with, it seems like you had to be a brother to work in that group. It was Dan Simpson, Brian Simpson, Heath and Drew Ekstrom, Larry and Ken Norland, and Scott Rindall, who's here tonight. And those guys taught me a lot working with them and all the things we did.
Well, obviously you put yourself in good company. All those names you mentioned are very well respected in our business. You made all of us look better. So thank you and congratulations.
The only person that I didn't thank yet, sitting right here next to Roz, I've got Michael Schmitz and Vern Deemer. I brought Vern because he's 79 years old, and he reminded me of 79, not 78. He's my cart guy. And if any of you out there, and all of you may have people in your business that do things for you, are passionate about what they do, almost have to tell them to leave. Kind of cool to have people in your life that do things for you. And right behind Vern, Michael Schmitz is here too, my assistant, who couldn't do half of what I do without him helping out. And I have Roz, my wife, for 30 years this year. We've been married, and she's still with me after all those years in the golf business. And one of the best things that ever happened to me was that she started working with me. It helped a lot because I don't think she really thought it, but when I said I was going to work, some of the times I think she thought I was just going to play golf. But now that she's with me, she does understand all the things we do as club professionals. And I think it's important for everyone out there to understand that saying hi to someone when they come in the room and calling them by their name is absolutely critical. We've heard it in seminars and stories from everybody, but there's nothing more magical than having the seniors on Saturday morning. I lovingly call them decoys because their cars are in the parking lot. But calling those people by their name is critical in everything you do. Remember that all the time.
Well, they say if you want good friends, be a good friend. I think you've got a lot of good friends, and you are to many. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That concludes the awards for tonight. Thank you everyone for sticking around. Very special night for everyone. Thank you, Mr. Fessler, for overseeing the awards. Safe travels to everyone. Have a great night.
Good job, Steve.
Good job.
Way to go, Willis.
Good. Now, where are you at in business? Cool. Down in Florida, Port St. Lucie. Awesome. Where'd you go? You can play. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. They got a very good team. Did they really? Conference. Now is Matt Swanson out there now? So now what's your aspiration for this? Right here. Yeah.
He worked for me when he was in high school and college, obviously, but he experienced some talking about maybe coming over here someday.
Back to the States. I appreciate being able to put somebody who I know is going to be solid bigger my recommendations that we have. So my information, I don't have to part on there.
We're going to do that. There's the age of the internet.
Reach out, stay in contact, for sure. No, there's anything.
Yeah, we did this. We got the children back.
Yeah.
You guys do last summer here.
Well, keep me posted. Level 1, but then I'm serious. Send me something before Christmas because it'll start up.
Really enjoyed listening to you.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Yeah, I really could. Much more education.
Are you guys going back tonight?
We discussed it.
Our plan was go somewhere else and football game.
Oh, I kind of went much in my pocket. All the South Dakota guys left.
Yeah.
And they gave me all their.
Greg McCullough walks up and he does this in front of Gene Meyer. Greg McCullough drops him in front of Seeger and Firehouse.
Good job, guys. All right, I'm going to be a grown-up. I have to work for real.
We'll see you, fellas. Yeah, we'll see you. Yeah. All right, we'll see you.
You going to Sunday?
Monday. Yeah, I got him on Tuesday.
Marshall Hoynes.